Hello students, this is Hasiba. Welcome to today's session on goodness of fit test. So far in fourth module, we have discussed about what do we mean by input modeling, what are the different types of data collection, right? And also we have seen a little bit about the different types of suggested estimators. So in today's session, we'll be discussing about goodness of fit test for chi-square test and also for exponential distribution. So goodness of fit test is basically used for evaluating the suitability of a potential input model. That means if at all I want to select any input model for simulation, right, then I have to check whether it is suitable or not. So in order to do that, we have to perform the goodness of fit test. But however, there is no single correct distribution in real-time application, right? So there is no definiteness for the result of such a test, right? So if the data is very small, then the goodness of fit test is unlikely to reject any candidate for a distribution, right? So if you have very less amount of data, then the goodness of a fit test is very suitable to check whether that particular data is good for simulation or not. If at all a lot of data is available, right, so then the goodness of fit test will likely reject all the candidate distributions, right? So that is why we have to be very careful when selecting the goodness of fit test, right? So the sample size is very important. So the first goodness of fit test what we have is the chi-square test. So the chi-square goodness of fit test is used for testing the hypothesis that a random sample of size n of the random variable x follows a specific distribution. The test is valid for large sample sizes and it is used both for discrete and continuous assumptions where parameters are estimated by maximum. Okay, so the test procedure begins by arranging the n observation into k intervals. The formula used here is chi naught square is equal to summation of oi minus ei the whole square divided by ei, where we know that oi is the observed frequency in the ith class interval, ei is the expected frequency in the ith class interval. So in order to calculate the expected frequency, we use the formula ei is equal to n into pi, where pi is nothing but the probability which is associated with the ith class interval, right? So this chi-square, the chi-naught square, we say that it approximately follows the chi-square distribution with k minus s minus 1 degree of freedom, right? So here s represents the number of parameters of the hypothesized distribution which are estimated by the sample statistics, right? So it is a variable which represents the number of parameters which are used in the hypothesized distribution. Here we are considering two hypotheses. We have H0 and H1. H0 states that the random variable x, it conforms to the distributional assumption with the parameters, right? So that means H0 states that the random variable x conforms to the chi-square distribution. Next we have H1. H1 tells that the random variable x, it does not conform to the distribution, right? So the critical value of chi naught square alpha comma k minus s minus 1, right? So it can be found from the table A2, right? So the same table which we used for chi-square test in the third module, same table you can use in order to find the critical value here. And we'll reject the null hypothesis if chi naught square is greater than the chi-square alpha. If at all it is lesser, then we are accepting, otherwise we are rejecting. So let us take a simple example here. So the first problem we have, the number of vehicles arriving at a junction is in a 5 minutes period was observed for 100 days, right? So for 5 minutes at a junction, the number of vehicles which were arriving was observed for 100 days and the resulting data is as follows, right? So number of arrivals is 0. So 0 vehicles arriving for 5 minutes, the frequency is 12. 12 times it has occurred, right? That means 12 days, right? So only one vehicle arriving within a 5-minute period, that is 10 times it has occurred, right? So like this, they would have given the data. So it is pre-assumed that the arrivals follow a Poisson distribution with the parameter alpha is equal to 3.64, right? They will give you the Poisson distribution value and using chi-square test determine whether the assumption follows a Poisson distribution. It can be accepted at a 0.05 level of significance, right? So this is the level of significance alpha value which you have to consider in order to accept whether it belongs to chi-square test or not, right? So the solution, we have two hypotheses. H0 states that the random variable is Poisson distributed. H1 states that the random variable is not Poisson distributed. So we know that the Poisson distribution formula is P of x is equal to e to the power of minus alpha, alpha to the power of x divided by x factorial, right? So where x is equal to 0, 1, 2 and it is 0 otherwise, right? So initially they have given the value of alpha as 3.64. So what we have to do, we have to find the probabilities for each and every value, right? So we have the probability for number of arrivals from 0 to 11, right? So we have to substitute x value from 0 to 11 and take this alpha value of 3.64, right? So initially for x equal to 0, we will get p of 0 is equal to e to the power of alpha value is 3.64. So e to the power of minus 3.64, 3.64 to the power of 0 divided by 0 factorial, right? So like this, we will get p of 0. The same way substitute for 1, right? And we have to do this until it is equal to 11, right? So 11 because the number of arrivals here, they have given it as 0 to 11. So that is the value of your x. Next, we have to find the next second step is to calculate the expected frequency. To calculate the expected frequency, the formula used is EI is equal to N into PI. This is the formula, right? So initially we got P naught. The same way we will get E naught. E naught will be equal to N into P naught, right? So the N value is nothing but the number of days for which the data was collected, right? So they have given that the sample was collected for 100 days, right? So therefore E naught is equal to 100 into P naught value, right? So 100 into what was P naught value? 0.026. 0.026 into 100, I will get it as 2.6, right? So the same way, E1 will be equal to N into P1, P2 is N into P2, right? So calculate all the values from E0 to E10, right? So once you have found all the values, right? So next what we have to do is we have to find the we have to fill this particular table, right? So in this table, what we do, we write the xi value. So xi value is nothing but your number of arrivals, which is 0 to 11. Then observed frequency values. Observed frequency value is nothing but the frequency values what they have given in the question, right? So the same frequency value, whatever you have to write it in the table here. 12, 10, 90, same values are written, right? So next we have expected frequency. So expected frequency value is nothing but the values which you have calculated here by using the formula EI is equal to N into PI, right? So as you can see, 100 into 0.026, I got it as 2.6, right? So same values you just write down here, right? So then we have to accept this input sample data, right? So by using some degree of freedom, right? So how to accept that this value 5, right? So acceptance they will be giving in the question, right? So the input data should be accepted if the EI value is less than or equal to 5. Sorry, if the EI value is less than 5, right? So they would have given this. So 5 is the sample size of reduction here, right? So what do we do is we first check the first value of EI. What it is 2.6. 2.6 is less than 5, so I will accept the first value, right? So second, sorry, any value which is greater than or equal to 5, you have to accept it, right? So it is not 5 is nothing but the reduction is 5, right? So if at all it is less than 5 means then we have to combine with the next value, right? So here we will check 2.6. 2.6 is less than 5. So what I'll do, I'll combine it with the next value, which is 9.6. So if I combine 2.6 with the 9.6, I will get the value as 12.2. 12.2 is greater than 5, right? So I will accept it, right? So if you are merging two values here in the expected frequency column, then the same way you have to merge the two values in the observed frequency column also. Next, we have the next value. It is 17.4. It is greater than 5. So accept it. 21.51 is greater than or equal to 5. Accept it. 19.2 greater than or equal to 5. Accept it. 14.0 greater than or equal to 5. Accept it. 8.5 is also greater than or equal to 5. Accept it. Next, coming to 4.4. 4.4 is less than 5. So what I will do, I will try to merge, add up it with the value below it, right? So 4.4 plus 2.0 you have to do, right? So if I do 4.4 plus 2.0, you will get it as 6.4, right? So which is greater than or equal to 5, you will accept it, right? So but you have to see the values which are below also, right? So below we have the values as 0.8, 0.3, 0.1, right? So all these three values, if I add up, I will not get it as greater than 5, right? So what I will do, I have to do backtrack, That means I will add this 0.1 to 0.3. So 0.1 to 0.3, I will get it as 0.4. 0.4 to 0.8, I will get it as 1.2. 1.2 plus 2, I'll get it as 3.2. Then add it with 4.4, right? So then the combined value of these 5 values will give you a number which is greater than 5, right? So greater than or equal to 5. So 4.4 plus 2.0, you will get it as 6.4, right? So 6.4 plus 0.8, you will get it as 7.2, right? 7.2 plus 3, it is 7.5, again 7.6. So all these values you have to merge and then you will accept it. So if you are merging any values here in the expected frequency, the same row values you have to merge it in the observed frequency also. Then you have to add all the 5 values, right? So if I add all the 5 values, I will get it as 17 here, right? So once you have completed this step, the next step is you have to calculate OI minus EI the whole square divided by EI, right? So the same formula for chi-square test we have to use here. OI minus EI the whole square. What is OI? OI is the observed frequency, EI is the expected frequency, right? So 12 plus 10, if I do, I will get it as 22. 22 minus 12.2 the whole square divided by 12.2. So if I do this, I will get 7.87, right? The same way for these values, you have to calculate in the same thing, OI minus EI the whole square, right? So divided by EI. OI minus EI the whole square by EI. Use the same formula and you will get this, right? So finally, add all the values, you will get your sigma, which is your chi naught square. Now this value we have to check with the level of significance, which is alpha, right? So if I check with the level of significance alpha, we have chi naught square of k minus s minus 1 comma alpha. The level of significance they have given in the question that it is 0.05. You have to accept it if it for the level of significance of 0.05 level, right? So then you have to find out one value which is called as k minus s minus 1, right? So what is this k? K is the number of EI values you have got, right? So number of EI values is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and totally 7, right? So 7 minus always yes, that is the hypothesized distribution, you will take it as 1. So 7 minus 1 minus 1, right? So 7 minus 2, you will get it as 5. That means I have to accept it with the value of 5, right? So chi naught square of 0.05 comma 5, you will get it as 11.1, right? So our chi naught square, it is greater than the level of significance. Since it is greater than the level of significance, the hypothesis will be rejected, right? So if it is less than the level of significance, the hypothesis will be accepted. That means the data will be accepted and it will be told that it is good. It the data falls under goodness of fit test for chi-square, right? But since here we have the alpha, we have the value as greater, the chi naught square value is greater than the level of significance, so we will be rejecting it, right? So like this, you have to solve the problem for goodness of a fit test. This is repeatedly asked in your exam. Let us move on to one more example for goodness of fit test. So the question says the records pertaining to the monthly number of job-related injuries at an underground coal mine studied by federal agency. The value for the past 100 months are as follows, right? So 100 months are as follows. So records pertaining to the monthly number of job-related injuries, the job-related injuries at an underground coal mine studied by federal agency. This is injuries, right? So injuries per month you have 0 to 6. Frequency of occurrence 0 injuries is 35, right? 1 injury is 40, like this. So we have to apply the chi-square test to this particular data using the level of significance of alpha, which is equal to 0.05, right? So again here they have asked apply the chi-square test to the data that the distribution is Poisson with the mean of 1.0. Again alpha is equal to 0.05, right? So here they have not given the alpha value for us, right? The first alpha value which we have to use for Poisson distribution, that means to calculate the expected frequency. So what we have to do is we have to make use of the formula alpha. We know that it is mean, which is x bar. So what is x bar? X bar is sigma fx divided by n, right? So sigma fx, so this is your f frequency and this is your x value. So fx you have to do 0 into 35 plus 1 into 40 plus 2 into 13 plus 3 into 6 plus 4 into 4 plus 5 into 1 plus 6 into 1, right? So if sigma fx divided by n is the 100 days, right? So if you do alpha is equal to sigma fx by n, you will get your alpha value, right? So we got the alpha value as 1.1. So use this alpha value to find out the expected frequency. So we have H0, the random variable is Poisson distributed. H1, the random variable is not Poisson distributed, right? So, and the probability mass function for Poisson distribution is P of x is equal to e power minus alpha, alpha to the power of x divided by x factorial, right? So use this formula, use the value of alpha which you have calculated, which is 1.1. So why we are calculating? Because the alpha value they have not given. Apply chi-square test, they have not given with the what value of alpha, right? So if they have not given the alpha value, you have to make use of the formula sigma fx by n, right? So now using this formula, we have to calculate from p of 0 to p of 6, right? So probability at 0, v power minus 1.1, 1.1 to the power of 0 divided by 0 factorial, right? Like this, p naught, p of 0 to p of 6 you have to calculate. Then use the formula for expected frequency. Expected frequency formula is ei is equal to n into pi, right? So use this formula and calculate all the ei values. So once you are done with the ei values, now you have to draw this a table, right? So we have xi is 0 to 6, y is nothing but the frequency values, whatever they have given, right? So this is the first column. The first row will be your xi, which is injuries per month. This is your x values. This is your frequency. So frequency is nothing but your observed frequency. Then ei value, whatever you have calculated, you have to write, right? So here they have given that the expected frequency value, right? So you have to accept it if it is greater than or equal to 20, right? So the values will be given. If at all they have not given, then you have to right. So if at all they usually they will give the value of e. If at all they have not given, right? So then the standard value is you have to accept it if it is greater than or equal to 5, right? So here they have given it as 20, right? So that is why 32.96 is greater than or equal to 20, so accept it. 36.58 greater than or equal to 20, accept it. 20.30 is also greater than or equal to 20, accept it. 7.5 less than 20, combine with the next value, right? This is also lesser, combine with the next value, combine with the next value, right? So next we will get it as 10.16, you have to accept it, right? So then y minus ei the whole square, same procedure. 35 minus 32.96, 40 minus 36.58, 13 and 20 point. Next here we have 12 and 10, right? So just combine and you have to accept it, right? So here we are not getting it as greater than or equal to 20, right? But since there are no more values for ei, right? So we just have to accept the combined values, right? So then we will get chi naught square as the summation of this. Then we have to find out the chi naught square for the level of significance, which is 0.05, right? So for that we have k minus s minus 1, right? So we have seen that the values which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 expected frequency values are reduced to 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it is reduced to 4. So k will be become 4 minus, always s value is 1. So take it as 1. So 4 minus 1 minus 1. So you will get it as 4 minus 2, which is equal to 2. K value is nothing but the number of values for which the expected frequency values are reduced to. Initially there were 7 values. So these 7 values are reduced to 4 values, right? So we'll write it as 4 minus s is always 1, right? So always remember s is hypothesized distribution. Since I'm using only one distribution, which is chi-square distribution, I will take it as 1. So 4 minus 1 minus 1, I will get it as 2, right? So once you get this, we have to find out the level of significance of 0.05 comma 2. So make use of the chi-square test table and find out this value. Then compare this value with the significance value, right? So since chi-square value is lesser than the level of significance, right? So we say that the hypothesis cannot be rejected, right? That means the data is accepted, right? So the same thing they have solved it for the alpha value as 1, right? So here also the expected value they have taken it as greater than or equal to 20. So the next type of test what we have is chi-square test for exponential distribution, right? So we know that the formula for exponential distribution is lambda. Lambda cap is equal to 1 divided by x bar, right? So here also there are two hypotheses. H0 tells that the random variables are exponentially distributed. H1 tells that the random variables are not exponentially distributed, right? So in order to perform the chi-square test with the intervals of equal probability, the endpoints must be found, right? So here we are dividing the data into number of class intervals. The number of class intervals here taken are k is less than or equal to n divided by s. That is the formula which is used to find out the number of class intervals. In order to calculate the expected frequency, the formula what we use here is ei, which is equal to n into pi, right? So it is always greater than or equal to 5, right? So this is the standard value, greater than or equal to 5, right? So in order to find the probability, the formula is pi is equal to 1 by k. So here we'll be using one formula, right? So which is ai is equal to minus 1 by lambda into ln of 1 minus ip, right? So in order to find out the expected frequency values, right? So let us see the problem, then you'll be able to understand. The life tests were performed on a random sample of electronic chip at 1.5 times the nominal voltage, and their lifetime in days are recorded. Use a chi-square test to test the hypothesis that these lifetime are exponentially distributed. In the question only, they would have mentioned that we have to make use of the chi-square goodness of fit test for exponentially distributed values, right? So if you count the data here, 1 2 3 4 5 data, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? So 10 into 5, you have 50 values here, right? So the endpoints for each interval, they are computed for exponential distribution by using the formula. The formula for exponential distribution, what we are using, it is 1 minus e power minus lambda ai, which is ai is equal to minus 1 by lambda ln of 1 minus pi, right? So or ip. So we have to make use of this formula in order to calculate, right? So the first step is we have to do lambda is equal to 1 divided by x bar, right? So how to calculate x bar? X bar is equal to sigma fx by n, right? So since here we don't have f, right? So what we will do, x bar is equal to sigma x divided by n. That means add all the values divided by the number of values. The number of values here is 50, right? So that is why we say x bar is equal to sigma x by n. Add all the values divided by the number of value, which is 50. You will get some value, right? So lambda is equal to what? The formula is 1 divided by x bar, right? So 1 divided by x bar, you will get the value of lambda. Next we have the k. K is the number of intervals. The formula for k is what? The formula for k is less than or equal to n by s, right? So 50 divided by k is less than or equal to n divided by s, right? So here s, they have taken it as 5, right? So k is equal to 50 by k is less than or equal to n divided by s, right? So n is 50 here, right? So the total data here, the total data is 50, right? So 50 divided by s, you will get the value of k. This is the class interval, right? So then we have the formula ai is equal to minus 1 by lambda ln of 1 minus pi, right? So make use of the formula, substitute minus 1 by lambda is 0.05 into ln of 1 minus pi. Pi is nothing but the probability here. The formula for probability is pi is equal to 1 divided by k, right? So 1 divided by 8 you have to do, 1 divided by 8 if you do, right? So then you will get it as you will get the value of you will get the value of pi, right? So yeah, pi is equal to minus 1 by lambda ln into 1 minus pi, right? The probability at ith interval you will get, right? So just calculate, this is your a1. So the first interval we say it is from 0 to 1.5, right? So the same way we have to find the second interval. So a2 will be equal to minus 1 by lambda into 1 ln of 1 minus p, so that is probability into I will be equal to 2, right? So substitute that, you will get the second class interval. So for the second interval, it starts from 1.5 to 3.4. For the third interval, it will be from 3.4 to 5.5. Just you have to make use of this formula, that's all. ai is equal to minus 1 by lambda ln into 1 minus p into I. P is nothing but 1 by 8, you will get it as 0.125. So first time for a1, you will be multiplying 0.125 into 1. For a2, you will be multiplying 0.125 into 2. A3 0.125 into 3, A4 0.125 into 4, right? So like this, you should keep on multiplying and calculating the value until you get the infinity value, right? So for A8, I will get the, is the infinity, right? So once you get that, you have to construct the table here like this, right? So class interval, so 0 to 1.59 is the first class interval, 1.5 to 3.4, 3.4 to 5.5, again 5.5 to 8.2, like this. Draw the class intervals. Then what is OI? OI is nothing but the, you have to count how many values are there in this range, right? So from your given data set, we have to count how many values are there between 0 to 1.5, right? So literally we have to count, then we will get the observed frequency values, right? So these values we have written by counting, how many numbers are there between 0 to 1.5, right? How many numbers are there between 1.5 to 3.425, right? So this is inclusive and exclusive, right? So here if you are including in the first case, next case you have to exclude the 1.59 value. The formula for EI, it is very simple, it is n into Pi, right? So probability Pi is 1 by k, right? So multiply that with the value of n is 50 here, right? So 50 into 1 by k, 50 into 0.125, if you multiply you will get the value which is 6.25, right? So this is EI is equal to n into Pi. The formula used for chi-square test is OI minus EI the whole square divided by EI, right? So use the same formula, so 19 minus 6.25 the whole square divided by 6.25. So you will be getting all your OI minus EI the whole square by EI values. So once you get all the values, you have to add them, right? So that you will get the final chi naught, final chi naught square value, which is the summed value of all this, right? So once you get this, we have to check now whether it is less than or greater than, right? So the degree of freedom here is nothing but k minus s minus 1, right? So k value we got it as 8, so 8 minus 1 minus 1, I will get it as 6, right? So alpha value they have given it as 0.05, so I have to check for chi-square of 0.05 comma 6. So make use of the same chi-square distribution table, right? Go to the 0.05 value, right? At the level of significance 6, so what is the value you have? You rate it as 12.6, right? So make use of the table and then write this value and compare. If this value is less than this, right? So then you have to accept it if the value is greater, right? So if the value whatever you have got, if it is greater than the level of significance, then the null hypothesis will be rejected, right? So there is one more problem here. In the question only they would have specified take the number of class intervals, right? So take the number of class intervals. So this k value initially k is equal to 8, right? So you have to assume it here, right? So right, when you do this for calculation, AI is equal to minus 1 by lambda into ln of 1 minus pi, right? So you keep on doing, where you get infinity, at that time you have to stop, right? So for what value of a you are getting infinity, that is your number of k, right? So k value, how you are calculating here? K value, just put a1, a2, a3, a4, a5, keep on calculating until you get infinity. For what value of a you are getting infinity, right? So that is nothing but your number of class interval, which is nothing but k is equal to 8, right? So here directly they have given in the question, take a k is equal to 6, so you have to assume 6 class intervals. K is equal to 6 class intervals, right? So if at all they have not given alpha value, they have given here, right? So pi is equal to, pi formula is 1 by k, right? So 1 by 6 will get as 0.167. Then we have will make use of the formula, same formula, ai is equal to minus 1 by lambda ln into 1 minus pi. Use the same formula, lambda is equal to 1 by x bar is equal to what? It is sigma x divided by n, right? So add all the values divided by n, you will get the value of x bar, right? So use the value of x bar, use the value of lambda and calculate the goodness of it, and calculate the values for a to a, all the different a's, right? So once you have got all the values for a, then the same thing we have to form the class intervals, then we have to write the observed frequency value, then we have to write the expected frequency value, ai is equal to n into pi, right? So finally y minus ei the whole square divided by ei, right? So once you do this, you will get these values, right? So once all the values are there, you have to add all the values, right? So if you add all the values, you will get some value. So this value we have to compare with the level of significance value, right? So k minus s minus 1 degree of freedom, because here you have got how many ei values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because for sixth class interval, you have got for a 0 to 5, right? So for sixth one, you are getting it as infinity, right? So k will be equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 to 5 is nothing but 6 intervals you are getting, right? So 6 minus 1 minus 1. 6 minus 1 minus 1, it will be equal to 4. This is with respect to the goodness of fit test for chi-square test. So under chi-square test, we are doing it for two types of distribution. One is Poisson distribution, the other is exponential distribution, right? So in the next session, tomorrow's session, let us see how to make use of the Kolmogorov-Smirnov method for goodness of fit test. Thank you.